It's the championship case we didn't get to do last year, even though it seemed like it was going to happen. But no, this year it's happening. No playoff eligibility stripped. He gets to keep every single part of the win. Austin Dillon. Why he'll win the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series championship. We do this for all 16 drivers before people start freaking out in the comments. If you've missed any of the others, go to the comments, check those out. We wrap this series up next week, probably on Monday and Tuesday. But, Austin Dillon, we're going to go through his season, talk about how he can make his way through these playoffs and win RCR's first championship in quite some time. So let's talk about Austin Dillon's 2025 season so far. He has one win. He won at Richmond Raceway just a few days ago. That is his only top 5 of the season. He has 5 top 10s, though, and he has 5 playoff points to his name. 115 laps. 107 of those were at Richmond. He's currently the lowest of drivers in the points in terms of who's won a race, 25th in the points. But as I say with everyone else, get yourself some playoff points, Austin Dillon. Winning at Daytona this week, that'll get you some playoff points. Win a stage. Obviously, he can't get into the top 10 of the points, so no bonus points there. But get some bonus points. It'll help. So now's the part where we go through the numbers of each driver at each track in the playoffs. And Austin Dillon's numbers at some of these tracks, they are not the prettiest. We got to use our imagination here. However, I will say Darlington, for some reason, has been a decent track for him. Now, in the next-gen car, not so much. Only one top 10, and it was that first race back in May of 2022. But remember back at the Southern 500 in 2020 when Austin Dillon randomly popped off and he finished runner-up, was chasing down Kevin Harvick in the closing laps of that one? For some reason, he's really good at Darlington. When he talked about how good he is at Richmond, he referenced tire management, conserving the car in a sense, having to have that racecraft that really works out at a track that just eats up tires. Well, that's Darlington. Darlington's a track that eats up tires. So, factor that in. Factor in that Kyle Busch finished runner-up in this race last year. Hey, you never know. I think a top 10's possible. Why not? Austin Dillon, you got to get yourself a top 10 here at Darlington. Gateway, 3 races, finishes of 6th, 15th, and 31st, and that was a DNF. So a 6th place, once again, I think we can work with that. Double top 10 this first round. You might get a little bit of a gap entering that cutoff race. And guess what? Austin Dillon has a top 10 in the most recent race at Bristol. If he can triple top 10 in this first round, I think he will breeze to that second round. Obviously, they cannot afford any hiccups. They cannot afford a wreck. They cannot afford a mechanical failure. They cannot afford to run straight up 25th. So they're going to need some good runs. Don't think there's any question about it. So if they can just survive this first round, keep it clean, get some top 10s, top 15s even, dare I say, if they can just top 15 their way into the second round, that may be enough. Then we go to New Hampshire. 2 career top 10s for Austin Dillon at New Hampshire. Then we go to Kansas. And hold on here. Let me do some math. Okay. 6 top 10s at Kansas. Not too bad, including 1 in the next-gen car. And remember, Kyle Busch was in position to win this race late last year before he spun himself out of the lead. So if they can bring that speed, if they can somehow do that with Austin Dillon, hey, you never know. It's probably going to take better than top 15s this round, though. Top 10 all 3 races, maybe. Maybe get yourself a top 5 somewhere. I would lean towards Kansas. Honestly, I know Austin Dillon's numbers aren't the prettiest, but he does have a good amount of top 15s there. Like, it's not like he's running 25th every race here. He's running 10th to 15th for the most part, honestly. I mean, 12th in this race a year ago, 10th in 2023, 14th and 13th in both 2022 races, top 10 to both races in 2021. I mean, there's a lot of 10th through 15th for Austin Dillon. So I would say this is your best opportunity at getting those most points, like getting just a huge chunk of points. And then the Roval, only 1 top 10 at the Roval. So once again, To get out of this round, I'm going to say you're probably going to need top 10s. You can maybe afford one minor slip up and have like a 15th somewhere in there. But I think if he could like top 5 at Kansas somehow, some way, get a bunch of points there, hey, you never know. Maybe other people have massive problems. And we get to the round of 8, once again, he's going to be at a points deficit. He's not outpointing guys like William Byron, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell. Like, he's already in a massive points deficit to those guys. And the fact of the matter is, he is not outpointing 4 of those guys. 3 of the, however many you got to outpoint. Like, it's not going to happen. So what does that mean? That means Austin Dillon needs a win in the round of 8. I think we all know where this is going. Talladega is in that round of 8. While Austin Dillon has never won at Talladega, he is a multi-time superspeedway winner. He has won at Daytona twice. Won the 2018 Daytona 500, won the 2022 Coke Zero 400. And his numbers support it. While he hasn't led a lot of laps, this was actually the most shocking stat throughout every single Austin Dillon playoff track statistic. He has only led 4 laps at Darlington or at Talladega in his entire career. I would have thought it would have been a lot more because Austin Dillon does usually run up front at these super speedways. He usually puts himself in position. But he's got back-to-back top 10s as of right now. Finished runner-up in the first next-gen race back in 2022. He's got a few other top 5s, top 10s. He scored stage points. Like, he's done everything mostly right at Talladega. He's had his moments. He's put himself in position to win before. They just haven't quite won yet. As I said, got really close back in 2022. So ultimately, it's going to come down to Austin Dillon winning at Talladega. If they can somehow, some way, find a way to make this round of 8, they have to put all their eggs in the Talladega basket. There's no, I just don't see any other way. I don't see a way they win Vegas. Maybe a fuel mileage race. Don't see a way they win Martinsville unless like just chaos ensues, like everyone takes each other out, or there's a green flag pit cycle and they somehow catch a lucky caution. Like, the only way I can see them winning a somewhat normal race is Talladega. And that's probably not going to be a normal race. So ultimately, it's going to come down to winning Talladega. And obviously, if he wins Talladega and he's still in the playoffs, he makes the Final Four. And the good news about Phoenix is that it's somewhat kind of comparable to Richmond, where Austin Dillon has dominated the last 2 races. His numbers still aren't fantastic there. He hasn't scored a top 10 at Phoenix since 2018. He only has 2 top 10s at Phoenix. So they're going to need some help. Once again, that's really, if Austin Dillon wins this championship, it's going to be the story of getting some help along the way. Unless they pop off like Tony Stewart in 2011. So you never know what could happen at Phoenix. A late race caution could happen. You put some fresh tires on it and you go past everyone. Late race caution could happen. Top 3 are all right next to each other. They wipe each other out. Or, as I said, they could show up with the Richmond car and just dominate. You never know. So, Austin Dillon championship case, to wrap this up in a couple of sentences like we always do. First 2 rounds, you just don't screw up. Don't have poor speed. Don't wreck. Don't have a mechanical problem. Just run a clean race. Finish in the top 15 in that first round. Second round, get a couple top 10s to make yourself feel better. And once again, don't screw up. Round of 8, it has to be a win. And ultimately, Talladega gets the best shot. And then when it comes to Phoenix, really don't know. If you show up with the Richmond car, that is ideal. If not, probably going to need some help. Throw some crazy strategy out there. Hope for a good timed caution. Like, hey, you never know what could happen in these Cup Series playoffs. That's the reason NASCAR invented this thing anyway. So we have 2 more of these things. It's probably going to be Tyler Reddick and Cody Ware. So get ready for a Cody Ware championship case. That'll be so fun if that actually happens. But we got Daytona this weekend. We'll set the playoffs. So not only do we have the championship case videos, the last 2 of those coming up, we have my full playoff predictions. Yes, I will make a bracket as I do every year. I haven't decided what day yet. I'll update you at some point. But there's a lot of rain in Daytona, so that stinks. So I don't know when these races are going to be, but hopefully according to schedule.